What's going on, guys? One of the most frequent questions I get on this channel is what's my favorite animated show, specifically adult animated show. And I came across this tier list recently called the Ultimate Adult Cartoon Tier List, and I thought this is a good way to show you what my favorite shows are, where they rank in comparison to others, and then you guys can tell me what your favorites are as well. And if you've never watched a ranking video before, the shows will be ranked from S tier to F tier. S is superior, A is excellent, B is good, C is average, D is below average, E is poor, and F is fail. Okay, so let's jump into this. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's quite a few shows in here that I've never seen or even heard of here in Australia, so there seems to be another tier category here for haven't watched, no opinion. So I'm going to get those out the way first. Alright, so we're finally at the shows that I'm actually familiar with, which is less than half this list, which is embarrassing to admit, but it's the truth. I'm going to work my way from the top down through these shows. Spider-Man, the animated series, right out the gate. That's one of my favorite animated shows of all time. Compared to some of the others in this list, it's not really geared towards adults so much, but it's one of the few superhero animated shows that I regularly go back to, so it has to go in S tier. And just beautiful animation style, great soundtrack, has to go up there. Tigtone. I've seen this a few times. I haven't seen a full series of it, but I know it's an Adult Swim show. Had a really unique animation style, pretty funny. That's going to go in C tier. It's never something I've gone back to revisit, but I know it's got a pretty big fan base with people that watch Adult Swim. Happy Tree Friends was one of the earliest inspirations for me to get into animation. It's still hilarious now. It's just brutal, cute cartoon characters beating the shit out of each other, gruesome deaths. Has to go into S tier. I probably watch it every few months. I look up the Best of Lumpy compilation or something on YouTube. Smiling Friends, a show that's made here in Melbourne. I've actually got a few friends that work on this show. Really cool animation style, really unique sense of humor. Really absurd sort of stuff. For me, that's going into A tier. I thought that was excellent. Moral Oral, this short-lived claymation series, which no one seems to remember, is honestly one of my favorite Adult Swim shows of all time. Me and one of my best mates from high school used to watch it all the time. It has to go into S tier, I'm afraid. It has to go up there. It's one of the few shows of its kind as well that was went into that territory of doing really adult humor with claymation. Invincible, really good show that's running at the moment. I've seen, I think, the first 2 seasons, and I haven't watched it after that. Not because I didn't like it, I just haven't gotten around to it. But just based off the 2 that I did see, I thought was really good. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into B tier for now. Brickleberry, great f***ing show. For people that don't know, if you've ever seen Paradise PD on Netflix, it was sort of the first version of that, made by the same creators, very similar concept, only in Paradise PD. It's obviously a police squad. I'm gonna have to put it into A tier. It was a very short-lived series, but I watched that far more than I watched Paradise PD. Next up is Venture Bros. I haven't seen this in quite some time, but I used to watch it all the time when I was a teenager. I loved it. I loved the animation style of it too. It was different to a lot of other things on Adult Swim at the time. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in B tier. I thought it was good. Mike Tyson Mysteries, another great show. I used to love the pigeon that was played by Norm Macdonald. I thought that was really funny. Almost that alone was what made me watch the show. I'm gonna put that into good. Love, Death, and Robots. For people that haven't seen this series, definitely go and watch it. It's different to a lot of other things on this list. It's really short episodes, 3D animation, really unique storytelling. Yeah, I'm gonna put it into good for now. It could potentially move up. Bob's Burgers, it's going into excellent for me. It's not S tier. I don't watch it a lot, but there's a reason why it has so many seasons. It is a really funny show. Next is Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I used to watch this religiously when I was a kid. I remember watching the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie when I was 13, and it changed my life. I was already into animation, but this is when I was like, this is something I can really get into when I'm older, because it was such a unique blend of rigged animation, sort of live action backgrounds, really unique looking show. It's gonna have to go into S tier for me because I still watch that movie like at least once a year. I watch episodes every now and then. I love the opening intro, the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack of the movie as well, especially. Big Mouth. I haven't watched the latest season, but the first 2 I really liked. The first 2 seasons I thought were really funny. I'm gonna put it in good for now. King of the Hill. I'm gonna be honest, I know that this has a huge audience out there. For me, I never really connected with this show. I'm not exactly sure why, it just didn't really make me laugh that much. I loved the Meat Canyon parody from a few years ago, but the actual show itself, I want to like it, but every time I go to watch it, it doesn't do a lot for me, so I'm just going to put that into average. Next up is the Slim Shady Show. I haven't watched a lot of this, I'll be honest with you. Pretty cool animation style, I'm going to have to put it into D tier. I'm sure it's got some devoted fans out there from ages ago, it just didn't connect with me. Dr. Katz. This I actually just watched a few months ago. Yeah, it's got some really funny moments in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier, I think. Daria, one of the unsung heroes of childhood TV. It's definitely aimed more for teenagers, obviously. I'll be honest, I still think it's a great show now. So I think it's actually spun out of Beavis and Butthead. I believe either she was a background character or they were background characters or something. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I still think it's good. I love the theme song too. YOLO Crystal Fantasy, another show that's produced here in Australia. For me, I'm a bigger fan of Smiling Friends. I think Michael Cusack is great. What he's done for the Australian animation industry is fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in good for now. F is for Family. When I first saw this, I'll be honest with you, I thought this was just a blatant rip-off of Family Guy. It's even got a similar font. But when you actually watch the show, it's a very different show. It's about a family, but it's, created by Bill Burr, voiced by him, based on his childhood. Well, sort of based on his childhood. And I think it's actually a good show. I'm going to go ahead and put this in good. Paradise PD. This is a show I was referencing before that came after Brickleberry. It gets a bit of hate online just because a lot of people hate on shows that look like Family Guy or Big Mouth, which is fair enough. I won't argue with that, but it still makes me laugh. I go to animation to laugh, and it makes me laugh. So it's going into A tier. R.C. McGee. I vaguely remember this show, but I have seen it. I remember this being like a really sort of early lo-fi Adult Swim show, like a Ass Detective or something. I thought it was funny when I was an early teenager. I don't know if I haven't gone back to it since, so maybe that's saying something, but I'll just say it's average, I think. Crank Yankers. This, I don't know if this really belongs in this list. It's more puppeteering. It's a lot of puppets, prank phone calls, acted out with puppets. I thought it was really funny growing up. I still watch compilations on YouTube every now and then. So yeah, it has to go into B tier. Solar Opposites. I haven't watched it in a while, but I watched the first season when it came out on Hulu or Disney Plus for us here in Australia. Didn't really connect with me, I'll be honest with you. Some moments were funny, just didn't really do much for me. I'm gonna put it into C tier. Next up is Frisky Dingo. I became aware of this after watching Archer and realizing that that came beforehand. Really funny and stupid show. This villain that's just like trying to take over the world and just these misadventures that he gets into. I haven't watched it in a while and I don't really go back to it, but when I was watching it, it was funny. I'm gonna put it into C, just average. C-Lab 2021, I believe was like the repurposed Hanna-Barbera animation for Adult Swim. I know it was one of their first shows. During like an Adult Swim marathon a few years ago, I watched a few episodes in it there. It's got its moments, not really for me. It's a product of its time, was trying to be made on a low budget. I'm just gonna put it into C tier. Rick and Morty. I mean, yeah, I feel like most people have enjoyed an episode of Rick and Morty. I still enjoy it now. I haven't watched the latest seasons, but the first few I thought were really funny, really clever, really well written. I think it's gonna have to go into S tier. Napoleon Dynamite, the animated show. This one took me by surprise. I loved the original film, and yeah, watching the animated version is always a gamble when it comes to these sorts of things. It's like asking a gamer, what did you think of the game that was made after the movie that just came out? And usually they say, it's pretty shit. This, surprisingly, I thought was funny. I'm just gonna put it into average, but I laughed. That's what I go to animation for. Tuca and Birdie, I thought this was a funny show. Really unique animation style. One big thing, you know, it has to make me laugh and I have to like the animation style. And I think it was made by the designer from BoJack Horseman. Really unique take on a show. I loved it. I'm going to put this into B tier. Robot Chicken. Anyone that watches my YouTube channel knows that I'm a fan of Robot Chicken. I almost don't need to say it. It's one of the 3 shows. There's going to be 3 shows on this list, which I'll get to at the end. which 100% inspired everything that I make now. Just the comedy style of the show, the writing style. It's quick, it's punchy. These are the sorts of things that I go to. Robot Chicken always makes me laugh. It's one of the 3 shows that I visit the most. It's going straight into S tier. Super Jail is another show that I haven't seen in a while, but it's got a really unique animation style and it's pretty funny. Just about this like mega jail under a volcano or something like that from memory. I'll probably put it into average. It's not something I visit very often. Midnight Gospel. It's a show that's very different to what I usually watch. Beautiful animation style. I think it was like based on Duncan Trussell's Family Hour. It's not usually what I go to animation for, but it's one of those shows that I will watch for the visual style. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in B tier. The Critic. This is another show that I watched when I was watching Dr. Katz a few months ago. Just 2 shows from like late 90s, early 2000s. And I thought it was really funny. It's gone into B tier. And I think as well, like, I'm a little bit biased with some of these shows because I'm a big fan of frame-by-frame animation, and a lot of these shows you'll notice from like mid-90s to early 2000s were all frame-by-frame, and there's a sort of charm to those that is completely lost with rigged animation in my opinion. And I will watch shows purely for that because it's got a certain feeling to it that you just can't replicate with rigged animation. Next up is Futurama, one of my favorite shows of all time. When I think of Matt Groening, obviously you think of Simpsons first, but the one that I will choose to watch is Futurama over Simpsons. I grew up with both, but Futurama I always thought was funnier. It always had so many more emotional moments in it too that connected with me as a kid. So it's just going to have to go into S tier because if I'm going to watch an adult animation now, that's going to be one of them. Boondocks, another Adult Swim show, really funny, cool sort of anime style, very different to what Adult Swim was doing at the time. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Another one I probably haven't watched as much in recent times, but I thought it was really funny. And yeah, I've got fond memories of it. It's going into B tier. Close Enough. I think this had one series a few years ago. I think I watched it on Netflix or something. So I thought it was funny. Hopefully they've gone on to make more seasons of it. I haven't researched it much before this, to be honest with you. But yeah, I enjoyed it when I watched it. Haven't gone back to it since, so I'll have to put it into C tier. Next up is Dilbert. I know this has got a huge fan base online. Pretty old show. I think I just missed the boat on it. You know, this wasn't hot when I was a young teenager, when I was discovering a lot of these shows. For me, I'm putting it into D tier. Okay, Stripperella is the next one. I've only seen 2 episodes of this. I remember this used to play on SBS here in Australia after there was South Park, Drawn Together, and then Stripperella. And I remember finding it really funny, and obviously it appealed to teenage guys, is I think was the demographic for this show for obvious reasons. I think it's Pamela Anderson that plays Stripperella. I thought it was funny. Obviously a lot of like sexual jokes, and that's right up my alley. So I'm going to put it into C tier. I've got good memories of it. It was funny. South Park. I mean, this one's a no-brainer. I'm sure you guys know where this is going to go. I actually only got into South Park when I was like 18, 19. The visual style of it I found really hard to get past when I was a kid. I thought it just looked cheap, but I think I watched 6 Days to Air, the South Park documentary, and that completely changed my opinion on it. I gave it a shot and I thought it was hilarious. Been a huge fan ever since. It's gone straight into S tier. I watch all the new seasons when they come out. I've watched the specials. Thought they were really funny. Samurai Jack. Really cool show, great visual style. Not something I really go back to be honest with you. So it's going into C tier. Wonder Chosen. I remember this being mostly live action, so I'm not sure why this is in here, but this was like a really dark parody of children's programming. I thought it was really funny. Pretty sure this was like early Adult Swim as well. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. I thought it was really funny. 12 Ounce Mouse, really lo-fi Adult Swim show. I'll be honest, the visual style was too hard for me to get past. It's gonna have to go into D tier. I think sometimes when the show's too experimental, I just completely lose interest. Hell of a Boss, I think that's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into B tier for now. Beavis and Butthead, similar to King of the Hill. I didn't really connect with it too much. If I'm gonna watch either King of the Hill or Beavis and Butthead, it's gonna be King of the Hill. So I'm gonna have to put it just into C tier, I'm afraid. The Jellies. This was Tyler the Creator's show. Cool visual style. I thought it had its funny moments. I haven't gone back to visit it since, I'll be honest. It's just gone into C tier. BoJack Horseman. Really, really good show, really funny, really clever, also really dark, which is not really what I go to when it comes to animation, but I really enjoyed it with this. And very similar visual style as Tuca and Birdie, because it was made by the same designer, so it's going to go into S tier for me. I don't watch it as much as the other ones, but I think it's really good. Family Guy. When I mentioned one of the top 3 shows that inspired everything that I create, Family Guy is one of them. They're all in the list so far. S tier, Family Guy, Robot Chicken, and Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I'd say for the most part, are the shows that inspired me the most. Yeah, they're all no-brainers. Mr. Pickles, another elite show. It's going straight into S tier. This show, the visual style of it, I loved, and it's definitely inspired me. I'm sure it's rubbed off. Every now and then I get people commenting, this looks like a cross between Ugly Americans and Mr. Pickles or something. I love it. I thought it was really funny, really dark humor. Next up, we've got Drawn Together, another one of my favorite shows of all time. Drawn Together is a product of its time. I find it hilarious now. I'm sure some others don't. It pushed the envelope a lot for the time. Yeah, it's going into S tier. It makes me laugh so much now. I'll go back to it regularly like every other show on this list. Just, yeah, really funny. Parody of Big Brother, but with cartoon characters. Yeah, there's just so many quotable moments and so many quotable songs as well. Yeah, I love it. Black Dynamite, really cool animated show. I think it was made by Titmouse, I'm pretty sure, up in Canada. Yeah, I'm going to put it into B tier. It's good. I don't really go back to it that much, but I go back to it more than the ones in C tier, that's for sure. Squidbillies, another show that didn't connect with me, I don't think. That's going into D tier. Ballmasters, yet another show that didn't really connect with me. I'm sure people love it out there, just not for me. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. This was one of the first Adult Swim shows. Could have been the first, I don't know, it was around the time that C-Lab happened, but interesting like talk show. I think it was another repurposed show made of Hanna-Barbera animation. It introduced a lot of cool characters that were then made into shows later on. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this into C tier. Our Cartoon President. I'm not sure if they're still making this, but it was a good like parody on Donald Trump by Stephen Colbert. I thought it was funny. It was also a really interesting animation style because it was, I think, made with Adobe Character Animator. Had a unique look to it. It's going to go into C tier for me, I think. I don't watch it often, but it has made me laugh. Harvey Birdman, really fucking good show. I used to love that. It was about this lawyer and he had all these cartoon characters from Hanna-Barbera shows that would come in with all these weird cases. I thought it was really funny. That's going into A tier. Now, some of these may move around from this point because I'm also considering now how much I watch each of these. Now that I'm seeing them all stacked on top of each other, I want to make sure I'm giving a proper ranking here. Trailer Park Boys, the animated series. I thought this was funny. I don't know, I didn't watch it past that first season though. It's not something I'd really go back to. Let me think. Compared to the ones in C, I'm gonna have to put it in D, I think. Spawn, the animated series. Visually similar to Spider-Man. Really fucking cool. And I do watch it every now and then. It's gonna go into C tier. Simpsons, for me, I'll be honest, is not an S tier show. I don't watch it as much as Futurama, but I still love it. Still got great fond memories. It's going into A tier for me. American Dad. American Dad is on the same level as The Simpsons for me. I watch Family Guy a lot more than American Dad, but American Dad's got its own positives. It's going to go into A tier. Border Town. This did not connect with me in any way, I'll be honest. That's going into F tier. I think it was directed by Seth MacFarlane. This didn't really do much for me. The next up is a spin-off of Mr. Pickles, Mama Named Me Sheriff. I thought it had its moments, but Mr. Pickles, there was a charm to that about the show being about this innocent boy and his demonic dog that they couldn't really replicate in this. I'm going to have to put it into C tier. Home Movies, another Adult Swim show. I thought that was alright. I don't know. That one didn't really connect with me. I'm going to have to put that into F tier, I'm afraid. Duckman, that was a show I didn't watch too often. For a while, when I was a child, I had Foxtel, which is, if you're in America watching this, it's our version of cable. It's just called Foxtel in Australia. I used to watch some of it on there. I can't remember which channel it was, but it's not something I'd go back to now. It's going into D tier. The next one, Hazbin Hotel. I think it's good. It's not something I really watch. I've seen a few episodes. That's honestly been about it. That's going into average for me, I think. Bird Girl, I think it was a spin-off of Harvey Birdman. I thought that was really funny. Haven't watched it for a good while, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in B tier because I did think it was funny. Ugly Americans, really great show. That's going into A tier for me. Big inspiration. Aeon Flux, the animated series. Yeah, not that funny, but visually really cool show. Yeah, this is a tough one to rank because it's well written and everything, just didn't connect with me personally. It's going to go into D tier. Visually, it's a show that's on like A tier level. It's not something I'm really interested in watching. The Awesomes was like this superhero show made by one of the thousands of late night talk show hosts in the US. I don't know, this didn't do anything for me. This is going into D. Ren and Stimpy, fucking great show. I mean, doesn't even need to be said. I feel like this is probably high on most people's lists. This is going into A tier. Archer, really great show. This is what came after Frisky Dingo. It was a huge visual inspiration for me as well. If you go back and watch one of the first videos on my channel, I made a pilot called Golden Pussy. Archer hugely inspired the visual style, and it's pretty obvious when you watch it. So it's probably a good reason why that show wasn't picked up. But yeah, it's going into A tier for me. Just visually, I love that show, and it's really funny as well. Clerks, the animated series, didn't do much for me, I'll be honest. I'm going to go ahead and put it into D tier, I think. Shorties, I probably honestly should have put in no opinion because I haven't watched much of it at all. Maybe an episode. Didn't really do much for me. It's going into D tier. Titan Maximum, another show very similar to that. Haven't seen much of. Going into D tier. Major Lazer, that like short-lived animated series. I thought that was really cool. I'm going to put it into C tier. Not something I go back to a lot, but visually it was really cool. Yeah. Downtown. That one snuck in. I honestly haven't seen that. I'm going to have to put that in no opinion. Haven't watched. Cleveland show didn't really connect with me. It just felt like another extension of Family Guy. Yeah, it's not a show I go back to anywhere near as much as the others. It's going into D tier. Full English, putting it into D tier. Didn't really do a lot for me. Hoops, I'm afraid. Another one for the D tier. It only had one series on Netflix. It was sort of a show that I watched and I thought this just could have been live action. The Ricky Gervais Show. This was based on the podcast that he had with Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington, I think. I thought this was funny. I used to be a big fan of the podcast. I would listen to it while I was working. So just based on that alone, that would make me laugh. So the animated element, of course, just added to it. So I'm going to put it into C tier. I don't visit it often, but it did make me laugh when I watched it. Alan Gregory, short-lived show. I think it had Jonah Hill or was made by Jonah Hill. It was about this like really smart kid going to school or something. I don't know. It didn't really connect with me at all. I'm going to have to put that into D tier. Inside Job. It wasn't really a show for me. Really well made. Didn't really do much for me though. It's just going to have to go into C tier. The Brack Show. This was a spin-off from Space Ghost, I'm pretty sure. I thought it had its funny moments, but it just wasn't for me. I'm afraid it's going into D tier. Final Space. Finally something I can take out of D, F, and C tier. I thought this was really good. It was sad what happened with the show in the end, but when it was on Netflix, I thought it was really well made, really well written. It was funny, cool visual style. It's going into B tier, although I may move it up. Pope Town. Yeah, funny show. I don't go back to it often though. It's just going to have to go into C tier. Crash Canyon. I thought this was alright. Very sort of generic looking animated show. I think the problem is with some of these shows is we just didn't have access to it in Australia. Like a lot of these shows, early 2000s, we had to get it our own ways online or figure out a way to access the Adult Swim shows. Yeah, Crash Canyon just never made that list for me. It's going into D tier. The Life and Times of Tim. I'll be honest, needs to go into haven't watched, no opinion, haven't seen that. Dead Meat, I've got very vague memories of. It's not something I almost ever watch. I had a friend show me an episode once. I think that was pretty much the extent of it. So it's just going to go into D tier. I have a feeling it's one of those shows that if I watched it, I'd probably rank it much higher. It's just, yeah. Harley Quinn, the animated series. I thought this was good. I got into this during COVID when we couldn't do much, and I think this was just coming out around the time, and I've got great memories of it. Really cool visual style. I'm going to put it into B tier. Probably going to move a few of these around once I get the rest in here. And then the last few of these, I'll be honest, I also should have put into haven't watched, no opinion. So this is my list. Yeah, it looks like more than half I actually haven't seen or was aware of. So I'm going to have to change that. But yeah, I think, let me see if there's any I'd move around here. I think Alan Gregory, I think deserves to be lower. I've got some fond memories of some of the ones here in D tier, and Alan Gregory I've got none of. And I think that's it, guys, honestly. This is how I have to rank it. Yeah, I go to animation when I want to laugh, for cool visual styles, for storytelling, but I ultimately go, what's making me laugh the most out of these shows, and this is generally where the ranking goes, except for, you know, Spider-Man up the top. Yeah, so this is my tier list. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to link the URL to this tier list in the comment section of this video, so you guys can do it as well if you want. Yeah, I'd be keen to hear what you guys think, what shows you love, how your rank compares. I've got 2 more animations in the works right now, just wanted to make this video so you guys could see what my favorite shows are and how I rank them. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a bloody good one, guys.